Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and today we will learn together sort and sorted methods in Python. Sort and sorted methods are applied to iterable objects in Python, but we use sort for list and sorted for all other container collection data type. Let us recap why we use list, and we introduced that at early tutorials in this series. Please go back to list data structure and do overview before this tutorial. The list or ordered list can be found in daily life applications. For example, when we make a web search, then the result is returned by the algorithm in an ordered list. So it ordered the results based on the phrases or the keywords we use to search. Also, another direct application about or in the list is the calendar service. So if you look to your calendar, for example, you will see your appointments are ordered in a chronological order. So this is ordered list. Okay. Or if you like have any shopping badge, then or you have any market badge, then when you go to buy something based on this online market or service, then the orders that you have are sorted based on the price or based on whatever the algorithm fabricated with. Another example can be found also in the stock prices, and there are many of applications related to sort or ordered list. Okay, so the ordered list is a list, but the items inside this list is ordered in such a way. Now there are two main methods in Python that are used to sort items within iterable or within a container collection data type. The first method is sort, which is mainly used or only used within a list. So if you want to sort a list, you can use sort, okay? Or if you want to sort any collection data type like tuples, dictionaries, list also can be used here, and string, then you can use sorted methods. The only differences is in the application domain. So sort is associated with the list, and sorted can be applied to all iterable objects, even including the list data type. Remember here, when we will have a dictionary, sorted is also used, but it ordered the dictionary based on the keys. Okay. Now let us start coding to see the difference. We will start with sort and we will use sorted, and then we will back to sort again. So let's start, for example, when we design fruits, for example, list, and inside this fruits I will have an apple. I will add also kiwi. I will add cherry. Remember here I intentionally use a small letter here in pere, and I will use orange here. Okay, sorry, I have to use orange within the code. Now, if I want to order this list, okay, or in another word, if I want to sort this list, I will use sort. Sort is applied in a place. What does that mean? That I can use this iterable, then I use dot sort, okay? So the main list here, which is the fruit, will be changed. So if I will print here fruit, okay, then it will be changed because we apply this in a place. Okay, so apply in a place, meaning that this will change the sort method, will change the original collection. Okay, when I execute this code, I will have apple, kiwi, and orange moved before pere here. Because of that, it sort the items based on the first letter and based on the case. If it's uppercase, if it's lowercase, so the capital letters have the more priority than the small letter, and this sort is considered the alphabet here, letters. So it considers the capital letters are in a small order. So the sort by default here is based on the ascending order. And if I want here to go to use capital B here, then we will have Berry is shifted here to be the second one, but if we use small letter, then it will be shifted to the last one. And we can at the same time use reverse equal true, and in this case we do sorting based on descending order, and based on the descending order the last one will become the first one, and here B has the first index, and apple has the last, and A has the last index in the list. So this is the first method. We use sort to sort the items based on the index of the letter. If it will be capital letter, then it will have the lower index, or if it will have this the small letter, it will be the higher index. This can be applied not just for this string. If I have a list of numbers, later we will have, then we will see the same result. And we use the here additional argument, which is reverse, meaning that it will sort this list, okay, based on ascending order, and it does another operation based on descending order, so it will reverse the sorted list. Okay, now what if I have, for example, a tuple data type? Okay, then the sort method will not work with me, because sort is only associated with string with list data type. So I will have to introduce, for example, sorted fruits, okay, as a new object here, and I will use a method that doesn't apply in a place. I will use sorted, then I will submit the iterable here, and this will not be affected because it doesn't apply in a place, meaning that the main or the primary fruit tuple here or will not be changed. So if you check here apple, kiwi, berry, and orange, but if I print the sorted fruits, then it will be ordered. Okay, and now we have the berry here become the last one, and it returns the result in a form of a list. Here, as you see here, the tuple has been shifted to a list. Now, if I, for example, will consider the descending order, or if I need the reverse order, then I use the argument reverse, then I submit it true. This true will consider the higher index, okay, and in the sorted one as the first one, and will consider the lower index after we apply sort here or sorted to be the last one. Just be sensitive when you use reverse or when you don't use reverse. So you first you do sorted here, then you have ascending order, but if you need descending order, then instead of looping, so you can do looping here, and or you can use the inversion, for example, based on a slicing index. For example, if you want to for example, to take this iterable object and convert to, for example, like this, and by this way we can convert the list. After converting this tuple to a list, we can use this indexing operator to convert this reversely or sort this reversely. But here sorted offer that to mean with a keyword reverse true, and in this case we will have the reverse order. Remember also I can use for example, one item to be sorted. So I can sort a string. for example, this is my name. Okay, this is my name. For example, I will start with Mohanad. Okay, and I will use my family name. Okay, like this. If I want to use the sorted name here, then I submit the name, then we print the sorted name, and we will see here the name has been sorted based on the reverse order, and in this case it considers each letter in the string as an item, so it will sort the letters. Okay, and if I want to sort by name, so I have to either to choose a tuple, and each of these should be separated. Later we will see how can we use this string as it to be sorted based in Abukmail, based on the family name or based on the first name. But in this case, we sort the letters of a string. Okay, here we use the reverse order, but I can remove reverse, and I can see here the space is considered as the minimum index, and A is considered the second one, and U is considered the last one. Now let us consider another example, okay, for sort or sorted. If I have employee, for example, and these employees are represented as a list of tuples. For example, I have here Mohanad, okay, and I have here the middle name. For example, I will use A, and I will have H. Then I have another tuple. I will consider, for example, Ali, and in this I will use W, and I will use, for example, 26. Then I will have, for example, let us consider Mira. Sorry, let us here rewrite this Mira, and I will have here capital C as the middle name, and I will have here, for example, 46. Okay, now just let's give this as higher, for example, here 36. Okay, now I can iterate, okay, for employee, and I want to print E, so I can iterate over this collection, and I can print them. The question is, how can I sort the above list of tuples, okay, based on, for example, on the first name? I do not need to do sorting based on the letters as what I did in the previous example. So here I can design a function, and I can pass this function as a key argument. For example, if I will use let us, before using the employee, I want to define sort based on index, and here I want to submit X. X here will be this tuple or this tuple or this tuple, and this only will return to me the index 0. So this is a tuple containing 3 items. This is the first index 0, this is 1, this is index number 2. Okay, so this sort method will only return the first item, and I can do like this. I can like use employee.sort. Then inside sort we use reverse, okay, but there is another argument which is key, and I use key to submit a function to do this sorting to me based on my preferences. And here I call the function. Remember, when we recall the function as an argument, we don't use the parentheses here, and we remember to remove these parentheses when you call the function inside the arguments. When I run this function, I will see here, for example, Ali become the first one, okay, and Mira become the second one, which here the last one, and Mohammed become the last one, because here we consider, or Python consider, that the capital A is the lower one, okay? Then we have two M, we have Muhammad and we have Mira. If both are equal, if the first letters are equal, then it looks to the second letter. The second letter is O, but for Mira is I, and I is lower than E, and for this we will see that Muhammad becomes the last one. But if here Mira will be in a small letter, then it will become the last one, because in the sorting again, the capital letter come first, then the small letter become last. Okay, this is another example. What I can do, I can use, for example, based on the second index. Just I change this from 0 to 1. So this is x0, this is x1. Okay, and now Muhammad becomes the lower one because he has capital A, which is the smallest one. Or I can change to the last index. Okay, and in this case, Muhammad is still the first one, and Mira becomes the last one because of the age here based on the last index. Okay, just for the beginner, remember that we can use -1 to represent the last index also. So this is used by defining a function, but I can remove this function. In the previous tutorial, we learned together lambda. So I can use a numerous function here like lambda, and I can like make it more fancy instead of having external function. So I use lambda x, but here x will represent each tuple here, and instead I can segment the index 0 if I want to sort this tuple, this list of tuple based on the first name. Okay, and now we use x0. Now if I want to use the last index based on the age here, okay, I use the last index of the tuple, which is -1. Let us rerun this. Muhammad becomes the first one. Okay, so and sometimes you use lambda for eliminating the defining another functions, and it will become more fancy here. And not what we will also introduce here. We changed the indices here, and what I can do, I can also use reverse. I still use reverse here. So I want to use reverse true, then it will sort this list of tuples. Okay, the first thing, it will sort this based on ascending order and reverse the ascending order. So the higher one become the first one, the lower one become the last one. But if I use reverse false, look at this, 35 will become the first one. This is really useful implementation, for example, because in the daily life application, you will not have one single item in a list, but you will have like a list of lists or a list of tuples. Okay, and here what we can notice that we can iterate over the items of each tuple here, the item of each tuple, which are located in the list. So because I have a list here, then I use the method sort. Okay, but what if I will have tuple of tuples? Okay, then if I will have a tuple of tuples, then this will no longer work. So what I have to do, I have to introduce sorted employee here, and this will be a sorted method. Okay, and inside the sorted method I can transfer all of these things outside. Okay, so I remove sort now, and the same thing will have, because I don't have here the employee. So when I use sorted, I have to pass the main iterable here collection inside the sorted. Don't forget that, otherwise you will have error. If you want also to make a lambda outside this, for example, I want to use the key, for example, equal age, and this lambda will be assigned to age. Here I have age, so you can move lambda outside and use just to use this lambda based on the variable we assign to it inside, just to make it more fancy, or make it more understandable. Okay, so we use different sorting methods here. We use sort for list and for a list of tuples or a list of iterables. Okay, now for the tuple itself we use sorted, but for list we use sort, and for tuple of tuple we can use sorted. Now let us just close with another two examples here. Suppose I have, for example, this is a list of positions. Suppose I have positions, and these positions are, and sorry, this should be positions are in 2D space, and I will have, for example, 1.8 and 2.9, and I will have here 2.5 and 3, and here I will have also 7.2 and 6. Let us also have 3.3 and 5.2. These are coordinates into the space where the first one is x, the second one is y, and these are used, for example, we can use them for like calculating distance based on summing the x and y together. Okay, and we can return the lower one. So I can sort at the first stage. I can sort this using sort or sorted. So let us to say sorted 2D, because with list I can use sort and sorted, but with tuple or string or dictionary I only can use sorted. So I can use, for example, sorted. I want to sort these positions, and if I want to bring this sorted positions, now I will see this become the first one, which is the first one. This is the second one, but the last one, the third one, which is 7.2 and 6, become the last one, because, as I said, we sort these positions based on ascending order. Okay, and so the minimum here, the lower one in the first index. So the first index is the default index here. Okay, now if I want to sort, for example, based on, I sorted here based on the first index, I can sort based on the last index like this. For example, I can use lambda, sorry, positions, I can use lambda x, and here, because I have two things or 2 points, I have x0 and I have x1, I can submit based on x0 based on the first item, but here lambda should be assigned to key, and I can run and I will have the same thing. But remember, if I have, instead of 7.2, I will have 1.2. Look at this, 1.2 will become the first one here. And if I want to sort based on the last index, okay, here the first index, here the last index, look how this will change. Then this 1.2 and 6 will go to the last one, because we sort based on the last value here, not in the first value, based on this lambda key. And remember, if in your application want to sort, okay, this position based on the total sum of both items. Okay, so if you want, if you in geometry is like stand on 0 and 0, x and y, then you move to a position where you have 2 in x and 3 in y, then you can sum the distance 2 and 3 to know how or what is the total distance you shifted with. Okay, now we will use the item 0 and item 1, so I will use x0, okay, here, okay, plus x1. So I will sort this based on the sum of the 2 points, which is the sort based on the minimum distance. The distance is just sum these points. Okay, let us execute this. We will see here 1.2 and 0.8 and 2.9 is the lower one, and 3.3 and 5.2 is the last one, because just sum these together you will know which points are which representative value of these tuples are the lower one or the higher one. So this is another visual example for someone who works in geometry, and if you want to sum the distance that is represented in 2D coordinates. Let us give another examples. Okay, for example, I will have names here, and in these names I will have a list of Mohammed and the family name. Okay, then I will have here, for example, Mira, and I will have David. Okay, this is first name, this is last name or family name. Then I will have Sarah. I will have Sarah, and then I will have, for example, Khalid, and we'll see here if I can sort them. I can use names.sort, because this is a list, okay, and can be applied in a place, and will print these names. And now it will be, sorry, this is names, and this is name.sort of names. And here we have, sorry, because it's in a place, I have not to submit the argument inside the sort. Now, if I sort this using the vanilla sorting, which is the basic one or the baseline, then Mira David will become the first one, as I said, because M and M are equal, we look to the second letter, okay? But I don't need to submit or to order based on the first letter, but let us, for example, do the sort based on, for example, the family name. I do not need to sort based on the first letter of the names. So I will use here key, for example, key, and for key I will use lambda x as usual, but inside x I have this string. I can use one of the string methods. Please go back to string data structure tutorial, and you will know more about the split method. So I want to, the first thing to do, x look to split. So I will split this name based on the space. So I have space here, I have a space here between this, and I have a space. I want to split this to two items, which is, I want to split the whole name into two items based on the space. So this will become the first item, this will become the second item. So because I want to sort based on the family name, I will use slicing index with -1. Why -1? Because this will become the first index, this is the last index, and the last index will be -1, okay, or 1, because this is, I have only 0 and 1. Okay, so here the sort will become based on the last one. If I want to execute this, then I will have nothing will be changed. But if my name will become not a male here, if, for example, my name will become with a small letter, will be, for example, transferred to small letter, then my name will become the last one, because, as I said, we look to the first family name, and we look also for the capital letters. The capital letters are the first in the sort, and the small letter become the last in the sort. But if I want to, for example, use lower, for example, suppose for any case, we want to sort based on the lower letter, just I can say this lower method, and now will become my name is the lowest name. And if I, for example, think both are come with the same family name, but this Sarah has a smaller letter, then when I execute this, now we will have Sarah the last one, because we look to this, and if you look to this, you will see Mira David and Sarah David doesn't follow this. Even I use the lower. Now in Python it considered both. Even if I convert this to lower, it will also consider both as lower. And because Mira become in the position before Sarah, and by this it considers that Mira as lower. But if I will, for example, use B here, okay, then I will see here Sarah David, for example, become before Mira. But just be sensitive if you have in your data two family names, okay, or some situations like this when both family names are equal, then you have to look for something further. Yeah, that's for today's tutorial, and thank you for your participation.